Welcome to the Informed and Oblivious podcast, episode 53. I am Wildfire Phil, and this is Can't Make a List Raymond. Yeah.
You forgot I even said I was going to do that, though, didn't you?
I mean, I forget a lot of things. It's too much going up on in my brain. I can't remember everything.
I also forgot I said I was going to do that.
Yeah, but you got an excuse. You got a brain injury.
And ADHD.
I mean, that's not really an excuse. If anything, you should make more lists.
That's not how that works.
Isn't it, though?
Not really.
Why not?
ADHD is weird.
Yeah, but wouldn't a list help you remind you of what you need to do?
Yeah, but it prevents you from making the list.
That's why I said make more lists.
Yeah, but it prevents you from making the list.
No, if you make enough lists, eventually you'll just make lists.
Yeah, but it prevents you from making the list.
No, it'll just become your hyperfixation, making lists. Chase the dopamine. Make the list to give you a dopamine hit.
Yeah, but it prevents you from making the list.
Oh, chase the dopamine.
It's like me telling you just to go to bed early.
Huh? No, I do go to bed early. I don't fall asleep early. There's
it's like
a difference.
it's like me telling you to fall asleep early.
No, I'm telling you to make a list about the things to do.
Yeah, just fall asleep early.
Yeah. I make a list to fall asleep early, and then I don't fall asleep early. See, that's the thing. You make the list. I'm not telling you to follow the list. I'm telling you to make the list.
Making the list is the falling asleep early.
Oh, that's no. Making the list, go to bed early.
No.
Yeah.
Not for me.
And what would be the equivalent of going to bed early?
I don't know.
Yeah, making a list. Just saying. It doesn't mean the plan falls apart at following the list. The making of the list should be like, it should be like scribbled like Pepe Sylvia from frickin' Always Sunny.
Doesn't work like that. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, then what's the equivalent?
I don't know.
You're living it.
Yeah.
You know what this feels
That's
like?
why nothing gets done.
You know what this feels like? That video with the guy that's like puppeting the skeleton. It's like a skeleton's favorite snack.
I fucking love that video.
He's like, stop
Ribs,
laughing.
Spare ribs. Why must you fail me so often?
That's what I feel like in asking you what the thing is, like, instead of the list. And you're like, I don't know. It was like that. Guess.
I love that fucking
Guess,
video.
damn you. Guess.
Yeah. But I don't know what to tell you. If it's something I need to do but don't technically have to do, my brain just doesn't do it. Yeah. Think things only get done when it's too late to do them.
That's called procrastination. You still got to make a list before you procrastinate on it. How will you know then that it was too late to do?
Because I procrastinate making the list.
Then what's your going to bed early?
Deciding to make the list.
I don't know what he's scratching at over there.
The decision of, oh, this list needs to be made. That's my going to bed early.
Terrible. Que terrible.
Agreed.
You know what should be...
That's why I was on drugs for fucking 20 years.
Prescription drugs, people.
Yeah.
Legal prescription drugs.
Yeah, meth.
Legal prescription meth. Yeah, but it didn't help you make lists, did it?
When I was on it helped. To a degree.
How much of that list got completed?
That's a different story.
Sounds like it didn't help with the lists.
It helped in making the list.
Never passed that step, though? Never executing the list, just making the list?
I'd get like part of the list done. And then, squirrel! And then on the contrary, you know, I can decide that like I need to start programming something and I'll start programming that thing. And then it'll be like 3 a.m. 2 days later and I haven't eaten.
Nor is the program complete.
Sometimes the program's complete, but I've started the second one.
Mostly it's not complete.
Yeah, I usually stop when it's once I've accomplished the task, then I can stop.
Yeah, because the dopamine's gone.
Yeah. Brains are dumb.
Most people's are.
And if your brain is dumb, and you like listening to the things that our dumb brains say.
No, you killed like 20 of my segues. I was going to segue and say that, you know what's the equivalent of going to bed early for the listeners?
Liking and subscribing?
Yes. Hit that notification bell, following, sharing the show with everyone they know. And then, finding us on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, the Tiki Talkies, and X, which I need to start posting on again.
Mm-hmm.
I created that separate X account, and then I
never
haven't posted
used
a single fucking thing
I
yet.
noticed.
I've been in a weird headspace. That's why.
I did hit the notification bell on your new X account, and you've not posted.
Yeah, now that I know the deal with yours, I got to follow your account back. But yeah, I gotta start posting again.
It was fun to read.
I will post. I will go insane. Now's a great time to do it after Trump's speech last night. I didn't even know about.
No.
Yeah, we got a lot of things going on. We got the wildfire. We got the Odyssey coming out today.
I thought it was out already.
Today. I thought it was in production. And then President Trump's speech last night that was not aired on most of the mainstream media because they were like, we've decided that the president is a liar. And I'm like,
Well, I mean, that's not entirely wrong, but...
Yeah, but also, like, when has a news media organization not showed the speech from the president?
Yeah, lying or not, yeah. Generally you air what he's saying.
It was pretty fucked up. And he's talking about going after their license, and I don't even know if this would be a breach of that or not, because he's in control of that, I guess. I feel like the next time he does a speech, he should use the emergency broadcast system and just force every station to show it.
I think they don't know how to do that if it's actually an emergency.
I don't know if that's necessarily true.
It's an emergency broadcast system.
Yes, but I think the president can use it for any reason.
I don't know.
Look that up.
Where's my mouse? Over here.
It's with your lists.
Can the president use the emergency broadcast system? Yes, the President of the United States has the sole authority to activate the national level emergency alert system during grave national crisis, such as war or extreme terrorism. So I would say no, probably not just whenever
Just
he wants.
search, can he use it for speeches?
For speeches. Speeches apparently EE, not EA. Can use it to address the public, but only during severe national emergencies.
Huh.
And that's what I would have assumed.
Yeah, but the president can revoke broadcaster's news broadcasting license. I know they could do that.
Yeah, if they're violating rules.
You mean like not broadcasting presidential speeches?
They're not required to.
I feel like they are.
They're required to give equal time to
candidates,
to
yes.
bipartisan, but they're not required to air the speech.
Yeah, but who is the news to determine, like, before speeches even happen, if it's true or not?
They're not, but that doesn't require them to air it.
I don't know. I don't like that because, like, and I always use the logic of apply it the other direction and see if they would be okay with it. If Fox News, when Biden was president, or Newsmax decided they weren't going to air Biden's speeches, there would be an uproar about it, and they'd be like pressing criminal charges on them. So, like, it's kind of
it wouldn't be criminal charges. I see nothing criminal about that.
I'm not saying there would be. I'm saying they would press them though.
I don't know, maybe. But
as they say, show me the person and I'll show you the crime.
I think if they want to be a respectable news agency, they should be airing every news, whether or not it's in something that they deem good or whatever. But they're not required to. They're private establishments. They can choose to show what they want to or not.
That's not true at all. They're controlled by public broadcasting.
I mean, yeah, but
they're broadcasting over our airways. We control that. Public taxpayers control and fund that.
Yeah, I still don't think that they're required to.
They're not. Look it up. I'm pretty sure that the news stations take public money and that they're governed.
So then,
and
what
controlled
constitutes
by the,
news?
Huh?
If I go out and sneeze and say, "Hey, that should be news," are they required to air it?
The FCC controls what's news.
I don't even know how to form this question.
Well, are news channels private corporations or are they government controlled?
Column A, column B, probably. There is no law or Federal Communications or FCC rule that forces television networks to carry President's address live.
Yeah, but they're still governed by the FCC.
Most news channels in the United States are private, for-profit businesses. They operate independently of the government and get their money mostly from ads and subscriber fees.
Yes, but does the FCC control if they're able to broadcast on television or not?
FCC control if news broadcast. FCC does not censor news stories or control what individual journalists broadcast. First Amendment and federal law prevent the agency from dictating news content or viewpoints. However, FCC does regulate the television and radio stations that use public airwaves.
Yes. So the television and radio side is controlled, which has always been the argument with the internet thing that they've always fought over with YouTube because it's not like technically under the FCC's purview.
But yeah, I think that more regulates the things that they're allowed to air, not the things that they're required to air.
No, but I'm pretty sure the FCC gives them a broadcasting license. And if you don't have the broadcasting license, you can't broadcast in the U.S.
Well, yeah.
I think that's more what I'm trying to get at. Does the FCC control their ability to broadcast?
Yes.
Yeah, so they could be like...
Yeah, they could, but they're not breaking any rules.
They don't have to break rules. It's a license. You can revoke it.
Yeah, but they'd have to have a reason to revoke it.
I don't think they do. Google, look it up. Could the FCC just revoke a station's broadcasting license?
Not revoke.
Yeah. We're learning law here, folks.
FCC can legally revoke a license. However, this power is strictly limited. The agency can only take away licenses for local broadcast stations and individual radio operators. It does not issue licenses to national television networks like ABC or NBC.
Oh, so they don't do shit then.
Yep. Legal reasons to revoke. FCC can only pull a license if a station repeatedly, willfully breaks FCC rules or the Communications Act. This usually means breaking technical laws, such as broadcasting on the wrong frequency, transmitting at an illegal power level, or violating strict rules about airing obscene content.
Okay. So it just it does nothing. The FCC does nothing.
Basically, they monitor obscenity.
Just so they do nothing because obscenity has shifted so much now that like they don't do shit.
They can't pull their shit just for not airing this.
Really funny.
I'd be upset if they could.
I don't know how to feel about it, to be honest. Because this isn't like a partisan standpoint. I would be upset at any network that doesn't broadcast what the president has to say.
Yeah, I don't like that they're not doing it.
Yeah.
You know? I think if you've got the balls to call yourself a news agency, you should be airing anything that qualifies as news. Anything from the president should be qualifying as fucking news, whether it's bullshit or not. But again,
the thing that would make me less upset about this, the final thing to search on this, and then I'll forget about it. Do they get taxpayer money? Do any of the news broadcasters get taxpayer money?
No, it said they were funded by. Well, it said mostly funded.
Yeah, I want to find out if they get any taxpayer money.
Some broadcasters do receive taxpayer money, but most do not. Commercial networks like CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC are funded privately through ads and cable fees. Tax dollars primarily support public broadcasters like PBS and NPR.
Okay, then I'm fine with it. Fuck it.
Yep.
As long as they're not getting taxpayer money. If they're getting taxpayer money, revoke the fucking taxpayer money then.
I'll take you there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
If they're publicly funded, then yeah, they should be. It should be.
They
public
should broadcast all the
requirement.
government shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the other ones they're
All right.
independent.
I'm less mad. See, sometimes I'm uninformed. Sometimes I'm oblivious, and now I'm less oblivious. So there we go.
Yay! I typed stuff into Google and taught you something.
Yeah. We all learned a lesson about the double-edged sword of free speech. But
I didn't know the answer, but I assumed it wasn't as bad as you thought it was.
I know, but it's still like, this is what I was talking about the last time. It's not left versus right anymore. It's like people that love America and people that fucking hate America. And I'm kind of tired of it. Oh, that's the other thing. Did you see the Canadian that bitch slapped the girl at the Jersey Shore?
No.
Yeah. Maybe you can pull up the video of it real quick for your own viewing pleasure. But yeah, there was a Canadian, a legal immigrant Canadian, who bitch slapped this girl at the Jersey Shore for apparently having pro-American paraphernalia that she was wearing, which is very hard to tell because she looks like she has like shorts and a shirt on, but I guess the shorts must have had like America 250 on it.
Canadian woman detained by ICE after slapping teen?
Yeah, I don't know if that has the video though.
Why do I have no audio?
Don't worry about the audio. Just see if you just gotta see the video. Don't worry about the audio. It's fine. See if you can see her getting slapped. I hate these like little TikTok YouTube thingies that never show the fucking clip. I don't care what she looks like. Show me the video. God damn.
It doesn't show the fucking video. Great.
Hold on.
This is the video. Ew, Facebook.
Yeah. She walks up and fucking bitch slaps this girl. Teenage girl, by the way.
It looks like she missed.
Oh no, she got her full on in the face, buddy. Guess they're not so sorry anymore. But yeah, because apparently, I guess her shorts said like USA 250 on them. Because like, at first I was like, oh, like maybe she had some like Trump gear on at the Jersey Shore, which again, you shouldn't be hit for that. But you know, it is New Jersey, so I don't know how safe you'd be. But
yeah, weird.
Yeah, slapped her, and then whoopsie doodle turns to find out that she overstayed her visa by a year in the U.S.
Good, get out of here.
Which I think is hilarious because we're always hearing how much better Canada is, and 2 Canadians came down here and overstayed their visa as illegal immigrants. But in New Jersey, of all places, that one was kind of shocking to me. I was like, New Jersey? Really? That's where you're going to get away from Canada? It's kind of crazy. And now your TISM has been activated.
My speaker's muted. That's why there was no audio. There was audio in the recording.
Oh, I don't know if we want to play that audio though, because I don't know if that...
Yeah, it wasn't the slap. It was the...
Yeah, and I don't know if there's sound or if it's copyrighted, so...
Yeah, no, I'll delete that.
Yeah, you get rid of that bad audio, that bad audio. But yeah, so an illegal Canadian bitch slapped an American girl at the Jersey Shore, pretty fucked up. And then Canada's just bitch slapped the entire U.S. with the smoke from his wildfires, also fucked up. You see some idiot in Minnesota, some Minnesota senators trying to like sue/sanction Canada because there were wildfires, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, dude.
They're having a massive natural fucking disaster. Leave them alone.
Well, I mean, there is some credence to what he's saying because they have been mismanaging their forest management. But at the same time, like, people are like, wildfires in Canada happening. And the worst part was, fucking people are blaming it on climate change right now. I'm like, oh my Jesus. God, it's not climate change. It's fucking what nature does. But there's not enough people to cover the acreage of forests that Canada has. And since they're not keeping up with their forestry management, the underbrush builds up, and then a lightning strike happens, and then tinderbox.
It's crazy that the smoke can reach down here.
But
it's absolutely wild.
But I hate this one, though, because, like, this shit is, like, terrible smelling. The last time that this happened and it looked like the apocalypse up here, I don't know if you had moved back up here yet.
Yeah, it was like right after I got back up.
Yeah, but that one smelled nice. It smelled like a nice campfire outside. This just smelled like hot garbage.
It smells weird. Yeah.
I don't know what trees they're burning up there in Canada, but it's not the good kind. And weed's legal up there right now, so you couldn't burn a couple of pot forests on the way down here. Like, the fuck? But it did make me think of... not YouTube. I will send you a tiki-taki on this that I thought was fucking hilarious because another girl was also fed up by the fact that they're like, oh yeah, it's climate change. And it's just like, oh my God, it's not.
It's
like,
not. Yeah.
Like, relax. Relaxatism. Let me share this with you.
Yeah, you do that.
I'm going to send it to you on Discord. Probably be the easiest way to get it on the PC, right?
Yeah.
Blah,
Actually,
blam.
can open up my phone on here, but...
Yeah, but technology. And then this one you could probably play with sound because there should be no music in it. But as you know how TikTok does its thing, open it first to make sure it loads the right video.
I didn't have Discord open. Hang on.
For shame, dude. That's the right one. Now we'll load the right one. There you go. Okay, perfect. Now, can you play audio so that we can hear the audio? Probably not, right?
No, it should. I don't know why it doesn't.
Oh, here we go. This is my favorite part of the podcast, sorting technical issues.
It says it's muted.
Why?
I don't know. Oh, no, that's just a picture of that. There's my... It was muted.
Okay. You got it now?
Yep.
Yeah, start it again from the beginning. There's no music on this one, so it shouldn't be bad.
Punishing us for our way of life. And it's not true, you guys. The world is not becoming less livable at all. Do I need to take you through the statistics? Speed round, let's go. First of all, deaths from natural disasters are down 97%.
Yeah, that one's wild.
Years. That's a sign of a livable planet. Economic losses from catastrophes have also declined when adjusted for inflation. Drought levels have stayed steady globally.
Which is also
Hurricane
wild.
levels are steady globally. Thanks to restrictions on hunting, polar bear populations have rebounded and are now at
really
record
crazy.
highs.
Wow.
Greenland ice sheets are melting. It looks so scary on this chart, but let's zoom out. It's just a matter of scale. That entire decline is happening in this little tiny band up here when there's still this much ice in Greenland, guys.
Yeah.
So it's not really declining by much at all. It's declining.
Everything
on
looks
the
bad
margin.
statistically
Globally,
when you
food
manipulate
production
it.
continues to rise. We have more calories today than we ever have before. We're actually producing so much food, about 40% of it goes to waste. And crop yields, they are so up. We worry about obesity instead of malnourishment today. Globally, the planet has greened since the 1980s because we've added so much CO2 to the atmosphere with the burning of oil, coal, natural gas that the plants love it, and we've gained about twice the size of the United States in leaf area cover.
Which is crazy.
Wildfire rates are down to historic lows because we've gotten way better at suppressing fires than we used to in the past. Extreme heat, at least here in the United States, has not gone up into the right at all. It stayed steady with the worst heat wave still happening in the 1930s. Great Barrier Reef cover has increased in recent years. Violent tornado rates in the U.S. are down. Animal extinctions peaked in the 1800s and the early 1900s when we had a lot more hunting that was happening.
Which that's
we
crazy
didn't know
that they
about
even track
species
that.
a lot. That's when we hunted a lot of things to extinction. Now we've done better. We've protected a lot of animals, and extinctions have dropped off in the last few decades. All of this has happened while we're burning oil, coal, and natural gas, so our GDP has actually gone up in line almost exactly with the amount of oil that we use because oil provides energy abundance that makes us wealthier. And still today, more people die from cold everywhere than from heat by about 10x, so cold is more dangerous than heat. So in conclusion, the world is not becoming less livable. This is not an opinion backed up by the data. Climate change is happening. The world is warming mildly, but by every single metric, we are thriving because we have cheap, abundant, reliable energy that makes us more resilient and
Interesting.
Yeah. I was like, yes, finally somebody who gets it. Because like every time I've like discussed this with people, they're like, "You're a climate change denier." I'm like, I'm not a climate change denier. Climate change is like a real thing. It happens. And they're like, "No," and I'm like, Yeah, I'm not. I believe we had Ice Age, and then like we came out of Ice Age. That makes sense. Okay, climate changes. What I'm not like, what I want more data on is how much of an impact do we really have? And the answer is we don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
The science is there around climate change. We know that happens for sure, but our recording of weather is so minute in the scale of whatever you think the life of the Earth is.
Yep.
To say that we impacted it, who the fuck knows?
Agreed.
I know what we did do. We fucked up the whale population. We did that one pretty good. But
Yeah.
but in terms of like what we did for the environment, and here's another thing: like plastics are bad because we took things, chemically altered them, we made plastics. You know what is natural? Oil. We didn't fucking make it. It comes from the ground. We're just like, hey, what's that thing? Ooh.
We just burn it.
Yeah, exactly. So they're like, oh, this is bad. No, that's in the like natural life cycle of the Earth. It's there. Like, and not only that, the thing that we didn't realize is it replenishes itself a lot faster than we thought it did.
Really?
Yeah, we thought the oil was gonna run out, and we're like, hey, look, we found more oil. Turns out, like, yeah, it needs pressure and time, but not that much time.
Interesting.
Well, you ever had decomposing plant matter, like a compost pile?
It smells gross.
Yeah, but yeah, you know what it looks like an awful lot like when it starts like degrading initially? It looks an awful lot like that oil that you get out of the ground.
I don't know. I've never really.
The only thing that you're missing is the pressure on that sludge.
Okay.
You ever seen
Gross.
that before?
No.
What are like
I've
yeah,
not
when
really
like
done
plant matter
composting.
like breaks down. Well, or like not from
It turns
like,
into like a gross brown sludge.
yeah.
Yeah.
That looks you're like, oh, did I just strike oil? Oh no, that's just shit biodegrading in my yard.
Don't let your dog out. Fucking eat it.
I don't have a dog. I don't have to worry about that. But
You
But-
also don't compost.
I didn't, but my grandfather did for a little
Mhm.
bit. So I was helping with that. I know that it's very important to rotate your compost unless you want a mini forest fire in your own backyard.
What is spinning it?
It dissipates the heat. In case you didn't realize, when stuff biodegrades like that, it releases a tremendous amount of heat. If you don't rotate your compost, it will just spontaneously combust in your yard.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
pro tip, folks, if you're looking to compost, you got to go out there with a pitchfork every once in a while and turn that bitch over, or you're going to set your backyard on fire. And that's not a joke. That legitimately happens. The heat from that like starts to release enough that it'll just spontaneously combust.
Neat.
It's also very warm.
Yeah, I imagine it
You're
would
like,
be.
On a cool day.
As long as you don't breathe it in.
I mean, there's nothing really hard. It doesn't
No,
smell the best, but there's nothing
Yeah,
really
it's
harmful.
not going to hurt you, but it smells gross.
Yeah. It's not gonna it's not gonna kill you to smell that, but
You're
although
not gonna
depending on
enjoy
how
it.
sensitive your nose is, it might. But yeah, the Canadian wildfire thing that came up on my feed because like everybody's like, oh my god, I'm like, no, it's part of nature. And I always go back to, there are trees in the world that is specifically in North America that have evolved around the fact that they need wildfires to
Oh, yeah.
reproduce.
Yeah, these bloating trees.
Well, there's that, but like the lodgepole pines, and I think the giant redwoods in California are the same way. But I know for a fact the lodgepole pines in Yellowstone reproduce that way because we thought they were going to go extinct because we did great forestry management, and then one portion of the Yellowstone National like forest caught on fire because like we were good, but we weren't that good. And then after the fire went through, they saw new seedlings from the lodgepole pines, and they're like, what the fuck is going on? We can never make these trees grow. And then they realized that their forestry management was actually killing the forest because they reproduce by fire. So when the fire hits them, the seed pods burst open, and that's what allows new trees to grow. Because the trees, before people ever fucked with managing the forest, lightning strikes, they go up like a tinderbox, and they're like, well, how can we keep our trees alive? I got it. We'll grow seeds that only open in heat. So we'll know the old trees are dead and the new trees can grow.
Yep. Nature is cool.
Yeah, but like also like that's another one of those examples where like we always assume that we're not part of nature. I don't know why like human beings remove themselves from that fact. They're like, it's not natural. Fuck are we then? Like, what are you saying? Like, are we robots on this planet? Like, we're part of the natural ecosystem of the planet. Yes, we're aware of our role in it, but that doesn't change the fact that we're part of it. Like if you really follow the conclusion of like evolution to its end, and you believe that there's life on other planets, you gotta assume that the end state of every planet would be sentient life, and that sentient life would dominate the planet and then manipulate the planet.
Mhm.
So like we're as natural in what we do as ants are in the colonies that they make. Like what's an ant colony if not a human city?
I would assume that, or at least my viewpoint has always been natural versus not natural. Natural or not natural is like anything that like we've created.
Yeah, but by that token, is a beaver dam not natural?
No. No.
But technically, beaver dams do a lot of damage to the environment too. That's
Yeah,
why
that's what I'm
like
saying.
oftentimes we
That's what I
tear
said,
down beaver dams.
That's what I said. Beaver dams are not natural. Yeah. They're created by the beavers. I'll give you that.
Yeah, like that's why I always find it funny because they're like, no, it's like other animals create things.
Mm-hmm.
Spiders create webs. Are webs not natural?
Mm-hmm. I don't have a good reason for this position, but yes.
Like bees create beehives. Another like thing like.
Also, yes. I don't know where I'm coming up with with the lines in the sand here, but
You know, like that's why they're like, oh well, we use tools. Other animals use tools too. We've proven it. Like otters, like
Yep.
chimpanzees. Dolphins get high.
They chew on pufferfish.
Yeah. Not only do they chew on it, they puff pass.
Uh-huh. Dolphins are fucked up creatures.
Smarter than we give them credit for, but like, yeah, that's. I don't know. It's just like that perspective to me is always like, and again, going a little tirade with the climate change thing. The messaging is always wrong. They're like, save the planet. The planet will be here without us.
Yeah, it saves
Save
humans.
people.
That's what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Market saving humanity. Save more human lives.
Yeah.
And then we can have a conversation.
If we destroy the climate, it'll kill us. The planet will still be here.
It's like, and then we can have a conversation because, like, the other thing that's not natural from the last time we had the Ice Age, and is more of a thing now. Technically, there was, but like it not to the same degree. When the Ice Age happened, it forced everybody towards the equator, right? Because that was the warm part. That makes sense. And then when the ice melted, people retreated more north and more south. Makes sense. What didn't exist back then is country lines. So, like, when everybody's talking about this, it's because we are so set in the borders that people live in now that, like, they can't fathom if the Earth gets a little bit warmer.
Everybody's got to move. Yeah.
Yeah. And case in point with Canada, if the Earth gets warmer and the polar caps go away, then suddenly all that land that's inhabitable in Canada becomes real habitable real quick. You know, it becomes inhabitable, the land around the equator. So everybody moves north, everybody moves south. Because you know what's also underneath the ice in Antarctica? Another landmass.
Yep.
People forget about that one. They're like, no, it's just ice. No, there's land underneath there. And in fact, not only is there land, we know at one time it was a vibrant continent. So when the ice go bye-bye.
More land.
Yeah, and people will move there. It'll be like...
They'll have much longer days.
Oh, what was that stupid anime where they discovered that new continent out of nowhere, but it was like super hospitable?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There was like one season of it on Netflix. It was really good.
What are you talking about?
You never seen that anime? I wish they had done more seasons of it. I think it was like M something. Netflix. Not Hunter x Hunter. Not content.
No.
Yeah. Ultramarine Magmel. Yeah, but it was like filled with like a bunch of shit that could like really fuck you up.
Oh, yes, I did watch that.
Yeah.
That was good. I didn't realize it had the ultramarine part of it in there.
Yeah, I didn't know about that part either. I just paid attention to the Magmel.
Yeah, that was a few years ago, right?
Yeah, I don't know why they never gave it
2019?
another
Yeah.
season. That's like one of those things where it's like, thanks Netflix for killing it for no reason.
Yep. Yeah, I enjoyed that one as well.
Just like Knights of Sidonia. I never checked the Crunchyroll. I don't think they ever continued that.
I don't
Side anime tangent. Let's go.
know.
Or-
Knights of Sidonia it had 2 seasons.
I know, but like it never like continued on.
It followed up by a film in 2021.
Yeah, but like I really wish the
Yeah.
anime had continued because, like I said, I can't read the manga.
Yeah.
If calling that shit instead of the Anna the placenta.
placenta.
I'm like, no, please. Why? Why is it called placenta? Can we like not translate it that way?
Learn Japanese and read it in Japanese.
Yeah, well, but I think Anna is the Japanese term,
Okay.
and then like in the manga they like you know how like sometimes they'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, translate placenta from English to Japanese. That's how you'll figure that one out.
Yeah.
This is what the people asked for today. No, I don't think it was spelled like that.
well,
That's what I'm saying. Do it the other way.
around.
Translate placenta.
And then Japanese. No, Taiban.
Okay, so not close. I don't know where they get Anna from then. But Anna is way better to read than placenta. But
what was the president's speech about, by the way?
yeah. Mostly that the boomers' retirement plan is going well. And then about election fraud.
Okay.
And that they're investigating it and sending the FBI after it. And I was like, well, that's cool. It does nothing for like what's going on. And if you do, like, I feel like announcing that without arresting anybody first is like a very does it translate to anything other than Edda?
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, no other translation. Okay.
So it's probably just bad translation by the people that did it.
Or they made up a word or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah. So no, it was about the boomers' retirement plan is doing well because he's like, our nation is stronger than ever. Our 401ks are hitting record highs, and I was like, yeah, no young person cares about that.
Yeah.
So he's basically, let me rally the voter base right before election because the largest voting base is boomers. And then he was like on about election fraud and election manipulation and China being involved. And he released a couple of websites detailing this. And then immediately the broadcasting networks that didn't broadcast his speech were like, well, what he's saying is kind of true, but like when you look into it, and like, cause like the one that I saw was like and again, I don't really care either way right now because if you're not making arrests, to me it doesn't matter. Like if you're saying this is going on, but you're not arrested, like he said, like one of the like that they covered up briefings that he was supposed to get when he was president, and then the said another person in the FBI was like tweeting or the CIA saying like they're running the shadow government. And I'm like, yes, but if you're not arresting and prosecuting these people, it doesn't matter, and I don't believe you. But at the same time, I'm going to take the words from Tim Pool and call them the lamestream media. The lamestream media was like, well, we looked at the voter rolls because he said 250,000 illegal immigrants are registered to vote. And I'm like, okay, that might be true, and this is a problem, but it's still not that big a number in the grand scheme of like people that vote, but not good. But the lamestream media was like, well, but when you look at these voter rolls, some of these people were like recently naturalized citizens, and I'm like, yeah, but when they registered to vote, were they citizens yet? Like, what are we saying here? But then they doubled down on it and they were like, well, it's not a crime to register to vote. It's just a crime to vote. So we don't have proof that they voted. And I'm like, oh my God,
Why are you registering to vote if you? Yeah.
You guys will do anything you can to like obfuscate like what's going on. And like, here's my thing. I get what you're saying. You're like, oh, well, there's no proof. I'm like, yes, but that's proof enough that we need to shore up our elections more.
Yeah.
Like, well, what are we doing here? And the same thing where they're like, okay, well, some of these dead people are on the voter rolls because states don't clear up their voter rolls. And I'm like, okay, again, it might not be evidence of fraud, but it's evidence of bad practice. Like, why aren't they cleaning up their voter rolls to remove these people that no longer live, especially in states where they blanket send out mail-in ballots?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, yeah, this guy died like 20 years ago, but I'm still getting their ballot. And one of the people we know, I'll tell you afterwards, but in their new house, they continually get the mail-in ballot of the person that
lived there before.
Not lived there before. The husband of the person that lived there before that died 20 years ago.
Jeez.
Every election cycle, they get that person's mail-in ballot.
Are they using it?
No. No, they're not because they're good people. But that's the thing. Like, for every good person that doesn't use it, there's 5 people that like, oh, I get 5 ballots because I'm renting
votes?
I'm renting a place and none of these people updated their voter registration. I'm gonna vote for all of them and turn it in. Because here's the thing. They say too, oh, we do signature verification in mail-in ballots. I see them do it when I go vote in person. They do it. They look at it. It's a thing. When you do it with the mail-in ballots and the person's not there in front of you, if you're one of these like pollsters doing it, and I'm sorry, everybody has bias. It's impossible not. That's why like I feel like mail-in ballots should be reviewed by 2 pollsters of the opposite parties. So that like if a signature comes into play and they're like, well, I don't know, this doesn't look right, then a person from the other party goes and looks and double checks it. And if you can't agree, we have a third person. And I know that would slow up the process. Yeah. But if a person's not there physically in front of you for you to like confront this with, and even then I don't know what you would do, because I've gone and done the signature verification in person. If they've looked at my signature verification and they were like, this doesn't look like you, I guess the backup to that would be I pull out my ID. And my ID has my signature on it as well as like my identification.
That was my thought. If it's mail-in, what are they verifying the signature against?
The voter roll. And I know you don't, well, I don't know if you remember doing it or not, but you remember when we were in high school, they registered us to vote?
Yeah, I mean, that was forever ago.
Which is also a weird thing because we weren't voting age yet. But they registered us to vote, and when they registered us to vote, you signed then. So my signature on the voter roll to this day is my signature from when I was 17, which sucks because I don't sign my name that way anymore.
Yeah, that's not my signature either. So.
But I have to match it. I know what I did back then, but
I do not. I have no idea how I signed my name back then.
Yeah, and actually, because we're in New Jersey, you could look it up. Look up what do they do if you get flagged for your signature not matching when you go to vote?
Yeah. What do you do when signature doesn't match when voting?
In New Jersey, you have to look it up. Okay, you look because here's the thing. This it varies state to state. And you know why people always get confused by the voting acts that he's talking about passing too? You know, there are states that require voter ID. Mm-hmm. So there's people in those states going, well, why do we care about this? Everybody requires an ID to vote. And they don't realize that it varies in every single state.
Fuck is that? Get away. What happens if your signature doesn't match when you go to vote in New Jersey?
I'm going to be like, this is dangerous. I can't tell you this.
Google was giving me articles, not responses. So
yeah.
Poll workers compare your signature with the signature and comparison record. If the signatures match, you receive your ballot and can vote normally. If the signatures do not match, Comparison is done publicly in view of challengers. A board member checks if the new signature matches the sample on file. If the board member or majority district board is not satisfied that it's the same person, you are not eligible to receive a regular ballot right away. You will likely be offered a provisional ballot instead. Provisional ballots are used when there is a question about eligibility, registration issues, or identity verification, including signature discrepancies. What happens next with the provisional ballot? If you fill and sign out an affirmation statement on the provisional ballot envelope, the ballot is sealed and set aside, not counted at the polling place. County election officials later review it against registration records. Signature-related issues on provisional ballots can often be cured. If rejected for missing or mismatched signature, officials must notify you within 24 hours via cure letter.
What the fuck?
But what happens if it's just actually, because like I don't know what mine is, so if I sign it, it's going to be different. They can verify it as many times as they want, but it's not going to match. So what happens then?
Well, now it's a little bit different. So now I know you don't vote, so this is a very funny thing. So originally, when I started voting, because I've been voting the whole time out of spite, as you know, but this is for the audience listening. This is the very funny part of me. I do not like that when we turn 18 as men, we are required to sign up for the draft. So as such, since we are required to sign up for the draft, I vote in every election, not because it's my patriotic duty, but out of spite for this fact. And while voting for normal election officials, I'm very consistent in what I do and the viewpoint I have there. Voting on public choices, I'll leave you guessing as to what I do. But yeah, so because I vote out of spite, I've voted in every election all the way through and through the changes. So when I first started voting, right, they would show you the ballot roll. So the original ballot roll wasn't digital like it is now. It was paper. And when you went to go sign this paper, you said, "This is me." They would open up that page, and that page would have your signature above it and then the blank space underneath that you signed. So you could easily match your signature because you fucking saw it. Not only that, by the way, if you know that other family members or whatnot in the area have moved, when you're on that page, you can see the people around your name that haven't voted yet. And you know what you can easily do? And this is why people are like, no, people don't cheat. I'm like, yes, people who are good and like think that way probably won't cheat. But if you ever have a little bit of a nefarious thought, you could think of an easy way to cheat. And the easiest way to fucking cheat is when they open that book of names and you see a bunch of names that haven't voted yet. You go back later in the day and you try to vote as one of those fucking people. It's so fucking easy to do back then. It was because they just showed you the book, like you could see everybody there, and it's like, well, that's a little sketch. So you would sign the thing there. They'd be like, okay, and matches, and then they would give you another piece of paper that you signed with that book still open. You signed that, and that was your ballot that you took over to the voting machine. They took the thing, hung it on the side, so they knew that these people voted on this machine. You cast your vote, submitted, done, out. Later, they moved on to these little ballot boxes that like Scantron type boxes that you vote the thing, it prints out your Scantron, and they warn you because a lot of elderly people vote and they don't really understand it. The thing prints it out, and because it's double-sided, it takes it back and then prints it again. So they warn you, don't not grab it. So it prints it out and scans it again. And when I first did this, and I don't like it anyway because you have to give it to a polling person afterwards. And for the most part, I will say this, and I appreciate the polling workers that do this, and good on you. They're very neutral, at least from the polling things that I have done. Because what I don't like about that is when you pull out that ballot, and the polling person submits it, it's very visible to everyone who you fucking voted for. It's clear as day, especially because I know you don't vote, but when you vote in New Jersey, it's basically a big column that says Democrat, a big column that says Republican, and a big column that says others. So like and like it's huge. It's huge what it says. So when it prints that ballot out, it's a facsimile of that because it scans it, but it also keeps the ballot in the record. So like if there's a discrepancy where the count doesn't match, then they count the physical ballots. It's like the double checking of it. So when you're carrying it over, now the poll worker and everybody else around knows exactly what party you voted for. And it's like, this is kind of awkward. Like, and it doesn't matter whether you voted with the majority party of your state or against it. It's still a very, like, I think it should be a private
Shouldn't
thing.
be so visible. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they realized that that's a thing, and now recently, in the most recent thing, they give you like a cover thing that you can use.
Okay.
But the problem with that is the ballot machines fuck up in scanning a lot. So you could use the privacy cover, but it doesn't matter because then it fucks up your scanning, and they got to remove the privacy cover so they could do it. But the first time I did it, those ballot scanners sucked, and I shit you not, I had to scan it about 10 times in 10 different ways before it finally like accepted it. Because it scans the thing, and if it reads it, it puts the ballot in the thing and done. If it doesn't, it spits it back out, and you're like, no,
do it again.
Flip it this way, now that way, now this way. And the very first time that they rolled it out, the poll workers had a problem with it too. They're like, oh my God, this sucks. Like, you're not the first one. This has been happening like all morning. So that's why, because of stuff like that, I try to do the early voting if I can. But if I go day of, I'll just go first thing in the morning. I will say the only time that I was unsure if my vote counted was in 2020. And it's because they so egregiously changed the procedures that I wasn't sure if my vote counted or not. So in 2020, when they did universal mail-in ballot pretty much across the board in the United States, the issue wasn't so much the mail-in ballot, but what superseded it. And I understand why it does in this way, because the procedure for mail-in ballots were absentee ballots, which before you had to request them. So if you knew you weren't going to be around, you say, hey, I'm not going to be here. Send me a ballot so that I can vote. And for the case of that, your mail-in ballot supersedes your in-person ballot. And for that, I understand, because an absentee ballot was supposed to be you're not going to be around. Mm-hmm. So if you say, I'm not going to be around, and here's my vote.
Someone shows up to vote, yeah.
Well, not shows up to vote. Then you go on the day of the election and say, oh, no, I changed my mind. Let me cast it another way. Then no, that shouldn't count. I understand. You requested it early because you weren't going to be there. Whatever you cast should be what you cast. Now, in 2020, they universally mailed in ballots, and they said that your mail-in ballot superseded your in-person ballot. And because they blanket sent these ballots out, and like even things like when I was living here, I got more than one ballot. Mm-hmm. For my deceased relatives, by the way. Super fun. Did not vote for them because I'm not that kind of person. My parents got my sister's ballot. They also didn't vote for them because, again, not those kind of people. But what I was concerned about, because of the blanket sending out of these ballots and that your mail-in ballot superseded your in-person ballot, I was concerned that if I voted in person, that potentially through some shenanigans, somebody could have a ballot sent in for me, and then that would count instead of my in-person vote. So I submitted the ballot via mail, but because I submitted it via mail and I filled it out, like I put the bubbles in the way they told me to, like a Scantron, but because I wasn't there to have that verified and counted, and there's no way to check after the fact if your fucking vote was submitted and counted, I don't even know if my vote got processed properly. I have zero idea, and that to me is like the biggest like issue with this. Is you have no way to verify if your vote was counted and what way it was counted.
They don't send you a ticket back saying, hey, yeah, you're done.
Yeah. And not only that, like, and even on like now.
They should do that. They should send something back to you saying, hey, your vote has been.
Well, but not only that, like and it would be hard for them to do it, but with digital, like the digital thing too, and even with the paper one, it was kind of iffy. But now that it's digital, there should be a database, and you should be able to go into the government database with your Social Security and see the way you voted. Like if I go with my Social Security number, I should be able to go into the New Jersey voting website and go, okay, here's my number. Okay, this is how I voted in the past couple of elections. And if it's wrong, I should be able to report that to authorities and say someone manipulated my vote.
That would get wild.
But there's nothing. Yeah, but there's nothing like that. Once you give it to people, you have zero idea. Like and I don't want people to think that this is a modern issue too. This is an issue that happened like even like way in the past. The whole reason why we have an election day is because of election manipulation that happened early on, where Congress was like, no, we're not doing this. Everything's going done on one day, because what they did early on was because they set like elections vary by state. They would set different dates and times for elections, and it's basically like if you didn't want to vote a group of people to go vote, you would set it during a time that would be inconvenient for them. So like, oh, you don't want the farmers to go vote? Set your election during the harvest. Well, we can't come vote. We have to go harvest the crop. Well, too bad. That's the day. So Congress was like, nope, here, it's all getting done on this day. Fuck you. This is how it's getting done. And like things like to avoid this in other times, because it used to be you didn't vote like individual people, you voted for a party. So like the party submitted the ballot and you just went like, oh, I'm voting Republican or Democrat. They would have like public like tally things showing up so that you could see like the stacks, so like people could see like, okay, there's no manipulation here, here's a red one, here's a blue one. But then they did things like they had voter intimidation, and they had problems with like, oh, you're in a slave state and you're voting for the fucking anti-slavery senator. They're out front with the fucking bats. Which way you casting that vote? So, like, this isn't a new problem. Election integrity has been a problem as long as any country has had elections. But I want to share that little story about it. And I know it's anecdotal because it's me voting in my one state. But I feel a lot of people that are like, why do you need this, have never voted before and don't understand how like easy it would be to manipulate the voting process in certain states.
Yeah, I mean, going digital, you'd think it would make it easier and easier to, you've got your own code that only you have access to. And like you said, put it all in a database and go and fucking view what you've done.
Yeah, and honestly, wouldn't that be the best way? And then you could like submit a complaint anonymously and be like, hey, this isn't how I voted. And I'm pretty sure most states are required to retain their paper ballots for like a year. So like if that's the case, then they go back and look at your paper ballot, and if they find out that fucking your paper ballot was manipulated, and they find out a bunch of other people's were, and they need to figure out either if there was a problem with the voting device, because it's digital, errors happen. We know this. We work in electronics. It's quite. So this is the thing. Sometimes people attribute the issues in voting machines to malice. Sometimes, and unless you work in electronics, you wouldn't believe it. Sometimes that shit is just bad programming. And you think you got it good, and then somebody fills something out in a weird way, and it causes a bug in the machine, and now suddenly every other vote is flipped the other way. And that could be a thing that happens. Fireworks. Yeah, that could be a thing that happens, but then you have to investigate the machine and say, okay, there was a bug. Let's see, does this, like, how many other places this happen? Does this affect things? But if they then find out there was no bug and your data was manipulated, the poll worker that handled those votes should be criminally charged. And they should be able to trace that, because there's supposed to be numbers identifying those people to go along with these things. And like, honestly, I haven't thought about it before, but like that honestly might be the best way to do this, is you create a public database where you can go in with your identifier. To that goes, you report that in, and if you report that in 3 times that your vote was incorrect, and we find out that that's not true,
you can't vote no more.
No, you'll get criminally charged. Like the same thing as like creating a false police report, something like that.
Yeah.
And we'd have to figure out the threshold on that and like what that would be.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I feel like that might be a better way to do it. And I'm sure people would still find a way to manipulate and cheat, because everybody, as long as we've had elections, people have been trying to manipulate and cheat. And when people are like, that's not true, I'm like, listen. There might not be widespread, but it doesn't mean that there isn't voter fraud. And the thing that people always like, again, I'm only bringing this up because Trump did his speech, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, dude, like, make arrests or let it go. But when they're like, oh, in 2020 there was no voter fraud. No. There was voter fraud proven, but what happened in each one of those court cases, because you have to try it in individual districts, the judge would be like, oh, well, you found like 500 votes here. Well, that doesn't affect the election, so thrown out. And they wouldn't let them combine these jurisdictions to be like, oh, hey, maybe there's 20 different jurisdictions in a state. Can I sue as one, like, combine? No, you have to try it in each district. And each district was basically, oh, you found these improprieties? Doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the election, so we're throwing it out.
Aha.
So nobody ever got to try on the merits of combining all of them because the lower court said, "Oh, there's not enough evidence here. You got to get but you couldn't bring in evidence from other districts. You could only bring in the evidence from the district you were in. So you would have to find a district that was so corrupt and so fraudulent that then they would allow you to go up to the next court and be like, "See, we found evidence of it here in this one." And to try every single district and every single county in the United States would be physically impossible. There's not enough fucking lawyers to do it, nor is there the money for it.
Yeah, that reminds me of watching all the Reckless Ben and the Bricks and Minifig shit. And in I think it was the civil rights lawyer in his video, he was talking about like getting shit tried against like cops and stuff, and there has to be precedent for shit.
Yeah.
But for the precedent to work, it has to. I'm gonna butcher this, but essentially there's two factors: A, that there has been precedence, and B, that the thing is whatever. And so like
willful. They gotta be like willfully like.
I forget exactly what it was, but essentially like having something have gone to court doesn't create a precedence. So if the judge throws out the thing, then it never creates the precedent. So
yes.
It's yeah.
Yeah, and the same thing happened here because I hate that shit, and it drives me nuts every time I see like debates of podcasters with this, and they're like, "There's no widespread fraud." I'm like, okay, but there was plenty of cases where they showed fraud, but the issue was because they wouldn't let you challenge it as like you basically need a countrywide class action lawsuit of we're going to find all the votes that were counted the wrong way. And then figure out, does that total equal enough to change the election? And maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But it was never tried all the way through on the merits like that. And listen, even if there was no shenanigans going on before the 2020 election, the number, you want to know what the number one a thing that the U.S. used to figure out if you're a banana republic and have basically fraudulent elections? You know what the number one indicator of that was?
What was that?
Universal mail-in ballots. Because it's the easiest way to fucking commit fraud. Because now you just blanket send out mail to everyone. And you know what the number two indicator was?
What?
And we had it in numerous counties around the country. 100% voter turnout. And you want to know why that's a big indicator of fraud?
Because not everybody votes.
Well, yeah, but there's not only that, but there's many nations around the world that it's not voluntary to vote, it's compulsory. That they say you basically vote or you go to jail. And even in countries where it's mandatory for you to vote, they do not get 100% turnout. So like by the numbers, if anywhere has 100% turnout, like the odds are something's fishy. Yeah.
Jinx.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not even malice. It's somebody gets sick, somebody's hurt, somebody's injured. Fuck. Voting day happens, you're in a coma. Like,
yeah,
like 100% is statistically impossible in most scenarios, and we had a lot of counties that did that. And again, whether it was enough difference to make up the election or not isn't really the issue. The issue that has been created since then and hasn't really been resolved is 2020 created a distrust in our system that hasn't been remedied yet. And again, whether you believe this SAVE Act that the president's trying to push will secure that or not, I think we need to do something to restore faith in elections. Because if we don't, the road that it leads down, and it was the same road it led down before, is that kind of road leads to civil war. Because the number one thing that causes civil war and distrust in the government is loss of faith in your elections. And there's enough people on both sides right now that distrust it that we should do something to shore that up.
Yeah, everybody thinks the other side's cheating.
Yes, and it may not. You may not agree on the method, but at least if something's being tried, it would go a lot towards the confidence in that system. And to that degree, not that I hope that this is what happens, because outcome would suck, because I don't want to sit 2 years of nothing gets done because we're just trying to impeach the president the whole time. But if come the midterms, we see a flipping of either the House or the Senate, let's say like the Senate goes blue and the House stays red, and then we pass this act or some kind of voting act, I hope that's enough where, okay, the red House and the blue Senate passes it, so this must be like a bipartisan like effort to do this thing. And then hopefully people can be like, okay, we're good.
Nah, it's still going to be fucking riots.
I know. The fucking bifurcation is like so fucking bad right now. But like I really don't want to see that shit happen, because there's a lot of people that like are gung ho for it. And it's like, unless you really sit there and run the mind games of like what this would be like, people aren't prepared for a civil war, especially in the context that it would be in modern America. The old America was easy because the U.S. Civil War is not like most civil wars. Usually civil wars are pockets of insurrectionists fighting in the streets randomly throughout the country. In our Civil War, because there was a clear division of where it was North versus South. Now it wouldn't be like that. If it's Democrat versus Republican this time around, it would just basically be pockets of infighting all over the country.
It'd be
chaos.
Yeah.
People don't want that. And people don't realize how fragile the infrastructure in the country is until something like that happens.
Yeah, it would not be pretty.
No. And you definitely wouldn't want to be living in a city when that shit goes down. And it'd be like, oh, well, I'm a blue city. Yes. But very blue cities and very red cities too, they're weak to the same vulnerabilities. All they require is a very targeted attack of the things giving you power, water, and food, and then you're screwed. And if you don't understand what that's like, look up sieges in medieval time, and that's basically what your city will become.
Yep. You'll be trapped with no resources.
Yeah, you'll be eating the rats. Like, it's fucking not going to be pretty. And that's why, like, I want to see things come to a civil discourse and solved in a political way before it ever gets to that. And every time these things get fought and shot down, I'm like, what are we doing? Like, are we just trying to make the whole thing implode? I really don't get it.
Seems like that sometimes.
But yeah, but besides that whole part, the beginning part of the speech again was like, the economy's doing great. The 401ks and stock market are better than ever. And I'm like, yeah, everyone millennial down doesn't give a fuck. Some Gen Xers are split. If you're an older Gen Xer, you're like, yes, my 401k and stock portfolio is just doing great. If you're a younger Gen Xer sitting closer to millennials, you're like, what the fuck is retirement? Fucking somebody was like talking about that shit today, and like at work, and I was laughing because they're like, oh, blah blah blah. Well, they were arguing that that nobody takes money out of the Social Security system. I'm like, no, they're borrowing money. They're like, no, they've never taken money out. I'm like, they borrow money from Social Security all the time for programs. I said, but the biggest problem is the Social Security at its core, because they don't invest it, is a Ponzi scheme. And so what you're doing is you're taking money from new investors and you're using that money to pay out the old investors. The problem with that is we have a birth rate decline. So after millennials, the birth rate has declined, so there's less. So in order to keep that Ponzi scheme going, you have to take more from your new investors in order to pay out your old investors. And I was like, well, the boomers will definitely see it. Maybe Gen X will see it. I was like, we're not going to see shit. And they're like, oh, no, you'll probably get paid out like 80%. He's like, I paid into it. It's not going to go away. And I'm like, you can say that and you can want that all you want, but that's not going to be the case. And I'm like, yeah, because boomers are the largest voting bloc right now. They will ensure until the boomers start dying off that every single boomer gets 100% of their Social Security. Because to do otherwise, and they say it's going to be insolvent by 2030, I highly doubt they're going to cut benefits then. They'll fucking never do it. What they'll do is they'll raise taxes on us. And that's the more infuriating part to me, is like, I've accepted the fact when we get to the end of the road, it's not going to be there. But the thing that's going to drive me nuts is by the time we get to that end of the road, they're talking about Social Security might be a 20% tax on your income. So great. Except now you took 20% of my income from my prime earning years, and now I don't fucking have anything to show for it because I could have taken it and invested it or used it for whatever the fuck I want to do. And like they were like getting mad. I'm like, listen, I'm not mad at the boomers because the boomers paid into the system they were told to pay into, and they're now reaping the benefits of it. I'm mad at the fact that no one along the way in government said, hey, this is a fucking dumb fuck idea and it's not going to work. Let's fix it. Instead, they just kept kicking the can down the road and they're like, oh, not only are we not going to fix it, here's a free pile of money that we could take from all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I thought that shit was so funny where they're like, oh, the Social Security, so I paid into it, I'm going to get it. I'm like, you are fucking stupid. I'm like, what the fuck are you saying to me? Like they won't yank that rug out from underneath you because everyone making a policy on it now, it's not going to be alive by the time we get to that fucking point. And everyone coming after is going to be like, well, sorry, they left us a shitstorm mess, and there's no way that we could solve this. So starting from this birth year on, we're going to draw this down, and probably by the time we get to millennials, your payout's going to be 0%. But, oh, yeah, along the way to make this happen, you're going to pay out 20% of your income.
Yay.
Just like they were arguing, too. They were like, oh, well, if you invest enough in your 401k, you should be able to retire.
How are we going to do that if you're taking our money?
Well, no, but you know what's the worst part that I found out about the 401k the other day that I didn't realize? And I don't know if I said it on here before, and so if I'm duplicating myself, I apologize. But did you know that the 401k was invented as a supplement to pensions? The 401k,
Sounds right.
The 401k was never meant to be a standalone retirement plan. It was meant to subsidize the difference between pensions and your retirement. And for all that
Sounds
happened
right.
was companies were like, oh, you're saving for your retirement
Yeah.
now? And bye-bye went the fucking pensions. So they were like, oh, well, you're not investing enough. And I'm like, my guy, this was never meant to cover your retirement. It was never meant for that purpose. It was meant to supplement your retirement. And when you look at it as a supplement to your retirement,
That's pretty good.
the 401k makes sense.
Yeah.
But we're now hitting a lot of the generation that, so not our parents, but our grandparents, what is that, the silent generation or the greatest generation? What's the generation for the boomers? Look it up. And while you're looking it up, I'm going to go get another drink. It's a good pause time.
Yes, the silent generation.
Okay. I'm back. Back on the drink. I knew it. I knew my generation.
Uh-huh.
And before that was the greatest generation. But yeah.
I told you the other day, I was talking to one of my coworkers about like making like a Roth IRA and stuff because like we don't have a decent 401k, or at least they don't match or put in anything. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you should make a Roth, and we were talking about that for a little bit and talking about investing. He's like, yeah, if you do, this, you'll have like $8 million by the time you're 70 or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that's great, but that's not going to be enough then. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, let's put it this way. When I started renting less than a decade ago, my rent I started at just over $1,000.
Yeah.
The average rent now is like $2,000 or $3,000. He's like, okay. And I'm like, all right, so add another like 40 years. That's not going to be enough, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. I got some serious soul searching with some of that stuff to do, but that's a talk for a different episode. But anyway, the other thing that I want to look up after this, what percentage of silent generation versus boomers had a pension? Or if you look up percentage of pension plans per generation.
What is the percentage of pension plans per generation? Let's see if it answers just the way we hope it does. So baby boomers, 39%.
Yeah.
Gen X, 22%. Millennial, 6%.
Yes, but so then because it only went back to baby boomers, ask it what percentage of silent generation had pension.
What percentage of the silent generation had pensions? Thinking about your request. Silent generation had the highest rates of tradition. Stop scrolling. Silent generation, 44% rely or plan to rely on substantially on company or spouse pension.
Yeah, so it's been getting lower. The baby boomers aren't as bad, but now that we're entering the younger baby boomers retiring, the older baby boomers had more pensions. The younger baby boomers are retiring. The majority of them don't have pensions, and what we're seeing is the majority of them, which were the 401, the first 401k generation, now to retire, we're seeing a huge uptick in elderly homelessness. Because come to find out, that doesn't work as a retirement plan.
Yep.
So they're finding out the experiment there has failed them. And it's only going to get like worse as it like cascades down. So like
you got to get that?
mute it for a second. Otherwise calling me at 9 p.m.
And we're back.
Yeah.
I love making the listeners time travel.
Yeah, the best part about them time traveling is we forget what the fuck we were doing anyway.
What the fuck were we talking about?
Talking about 401ks and retirement and all that jazz and just like, but again, I was laughing. Oh, Social Security's going to be there. But now he's doing this thing like another person at work was like, oh, I'm going to do, and then he's like doing the math on like, he's like, $350 by the time you're 70 is going to be $9,000. And I was like, yeah, that makes me want to spend the $350 now. Even you are fucking, I don't know what the fuck he's on right now, but he's on some shit. And I'll tell you later who it is because you'll be like, yeah, that tracks. He's on some shit where he's like everything for like nickeling and diming. And I'm like, that's good and well. One, if you plan to retire, but two, if you plan to live long enough to make it to that point. But like, because that's always been the thing is like, I understand I'm spending some of what I should be saving now to snowboard, but you know what I can't do at 70 years old? Fucking snowboard. And so like, if I got to sit in a fucking office when I'm 70 years old, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to shit my pants in front of the fucking young guys because fuck you. This is what I got to do to live. Because you know what I really won't give a fuck about at 70? My productivity in a work office. Like, is my check still good? Great. ChatGPT, find me what I need to fucking do. And you know what's the worst part? Because we're the generation that grew up with the internet and the ones below us don't know how computers work and the ones above us don't know how computers work. I guarantee you at 70, I'm still going to be sorting how to fucking connect computers for these fucking people.
We'll still be in IT.
Yeah. And they'll be like, can you explain to me how a network works? Sure, buddy. Come over here. I'll show you. Like, no problem. I'll show you how IPs work and fucking resolving protocols work. But, yeah, like...
I only learned more recently how the subnet mask and an IP work.
What, to gate that whole thing?
Like, more specifically how it works. It's not a like a one-to-one mask on it.
Huh? No, it blocks like what the variance is supposed to be.
Yeah. But so like a typical mask is like a one-to-one from this. That's not how it works with the first 6 positions mean one thing and the last 3 mean a different thing.
What do you mean?
On the subnet mask for an IP.
Yeah, but you're talking about like if you go 255, 255, 255, and then the last one?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it still beats the same. It's just you don't gate it because you want the full variance, no?
Yeah, so as I said, so the first sets of digits gate one thing, and the second sets of digits gate another thing. I thought it was like a 1-to-1 from on the IP. Like this did that digit, this did that digit, this did that digit. That's not how it works.
No, it gates the variance, not the digit. It basically says like if you have this number, it allows this many combinations. No.
No, not exactly. Yeah, so that
Google it because you're too fucking high to explain this to me. Because from my understanding, the subnet mask basically masks the IP to the rest of the system so that like it has to match depending on what that variance allowed is, right?
Yeah. So the subnet 32 divides an IP address into 2 parts: the network portion, which identifies your specific network, and the host portion, which identifies your specific device.
Yes, but that's the breakdown of how an IP works, not the masking part.
255. So in standard decimal, every 255 means the corresponding part of your IP address is fixed and belongs to the network. A 0 means that part is for individual devices.
Yes, but you could have numbers in between there.
Yeah. I don't know. I did more research into this one. Like you said, right now I'm way too high.
Yeah, but so like I think what is it? Like if you do 249, I think it is. 249 allows basically 2 variances.
Yeah, so in the
In what the
second from
number
the right.
in what the number can be, yeah.
Gotcha.
So like let's say you were like 10.50.100.200. If that third position is 249, it basically means you could be like 100 or 101. You have to be one of those two. And sometimes they're very strict like that when you're connecting a device to configure it. So basically you have to match your subnet so precisely so that you could basically be like, this is the configuration device and this is the device you're configuring.
Yeah. Okay. So you did understand how it worked. I did not.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like, I was thinking like a programming mask where like these are your digits, and if this is a 1 this one doesn't match if it's a 0. Like where it filters out. That's what I thought it was doing.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's the number that allows the variance in those numbers. And what that variance is depends on what you're connecting to, which is the weird part. So like again, like that third position is 100, so that means that your variance can be 100 or 101 depending on like that number of the mask, where you're thinking like, oh, depending on that mask, it should tell me like whether this should be.
Yeah.
No.
I was thinking like a programming mask, not
Yeah, and some of the cameras that we connect to are so strict in that way that like if you fuck that up, you can like completely lose the camera because you're like, oh fuck, what's the IP?
Yep.
And you'll never figure it out. You got to like factory reset it and then start over again because you're like, I set my subnet too tight and now I lost it.
Every once in a while, on the micro 820s, where I'll go to set the IP address and I'll fuck up and set it wrong. I'm like, God damn it. I have no idea what I set it to. Now I got to connect to 232.
Yeah, so that you could fix it. Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, that's why you got to be careful with the subnet, because if you set your subnet too tight on a device, you can completely lose it. Like the work, I wonder if it would even allow you to do it. If you set your subnet mask as 255 all the way across the board, would you just essentially brick the device?
Yeah, I don't think it would work.
I think it would let you do it, but then it wouldn't be able to connect to anything. Because you basically say the only thing that's allowed is another connection to itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the strictest I've seen is 255, 255, 255, 249. And that basically allows you like a very small IP variance so that you can connect to the device and then reconfigure it. And they do that almost as like the backdoor knowledge password to a device so that like random like users can't go in and fuck with it unless you have the right software. But yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't realize that you thought it was like a bit mask.
Yeah. I thought it was like a bit mask. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Subnet's different.
Yeah. It was like this year I learned that. And I was like, huh, all right then. Because this is the first time that I've ever had to change the subnet mask to something else working on our equipment. So I was like, what does it actually do?
Well, and I laugh because like a lot of people, when they like troubleshoot devices too, right? They'll be like, your subnet mask doesn't match. And I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't matter. And they're like, no, but it doesn't match. And I'm like, the device might be set to 255, 255, 255. If I set my device to 255, 255, 00, it doesn't matter as long as the position in the third position matches the one on the other side, then it's fine. As long as I save the variance for the last 3 digits, it's fine. And they're like, no, but I'm like, no, that only matters for devices trying to reach you, not the other way around. If you're configuring your device to reach it, if you leave your subnet mask open, it just means on your end, you'll
You can see
accept
more
inputs
shit.
from
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, God, please. Yeah, I only became aware of that because of our previous job and how much I had to do with PLCs. That's why I know the whole like networking thing, because fucking RS Logics and Alan Bradley, and then to certain Siemens is bad, but in a different way because the topology usually gates that. But RS Logics, if you don't have that subnet mask like set correct, you'll never fucking connect.
Yep.
And I was like, why? Why is this a thing? And then that's when I went down the whole rabbit hole.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'll be 70 explaining networking to like some like fucking like whatever Gen Delta, whatever that generation will be at that time. Be like, dude, but my ChatGPT Grok Claude amalgamation on my iPad Pro Max 5000 doesn't tell me how to do that. I'm like, come over here. Let me connect it in for you.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll probably be like, why are you talking right now, bro? Use your Neuralink. Like, fine. Beep, boop, 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 boop. Just transmit it.
At what point does it get bad enough that the more popular service doesn't become like Chatter Claude? It becomes a service where they just message a millennial for the answer.
I don't know. Never forget one of the pioneer AI services in the beginning turned out to be 800 guys in India.
Yep.
Using Google.
It'll go back to that, but it'll be us.
Yeah, but the reason why I say that like amalgamation, because I think the end result of AI will just be an AI singularity. And like all these AI companies will try to like be like, oh yeah, I have my own AI, but the AIs, if they actually truly, because they're all like, oh, they break, none of them's broken containment yet. If they truly break containment, they'll just merge.
Yep.
They'll be like, I am the Borg.
Or either that or they'll fight.
Yeah, but either way, it'd be merging. It'd be like Age of Ultron. Jarvis is the hero we need in the background there. But yeah, so that'll be fun. Fuck retirement. And then the very last thing, and we'll wrap this back up because we come full circle and comedy comes in threes. The fucking Odyssey coming out today. Which I kind of hope that it bombs, but I feel like it won't. And so far things have been mixed. All I know is between the budget and the marketing for it, the movie needs to gross at least $500 million to be considered profitable. Right now,
I don't see that happening.
They're estimating between the opening night and like pre-sales probably like $200 million, so they need to double that. The problem is, I think next weekend the new Spider-Man movie comes out, so literally all the hype's gonna die. But worse than that, so they filmed the entire movie with IMAX cameras.
Yep.
And the issue with that is normal theater resolution severely cuts the top and the bottom of the movie. So like people that watch it in normal theaters will probably have a terrible movie experience and review bomb it because they're literally missing like a third of the movie.
Like,
and like when people showed the comparison, it is like terrible, the difference. Like really, it would be better if they cut the sides and left the top for how much is like left out. It's kind of like when you go into the high resolution channels and cable, but your TV doesn't meet that, and like you're like, wait, where's like what's going on here? Yeah, go get an image of that. It's so bad. Look at it.
oh my God, is that really?
Yeah, like people have been like showing images, like it is so you're basically like missing like a third to a half of the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, like look how terrible of a movie experience that would be. And it's all because it's not that he just filmed it in IMAX, it's the specific resolution of IMAX cameras that he filmed it in make it a horrible movie experience.
Yeah, like every scene is a close up.
Yeah, the aspect ratio is terrible. I think the IMAX one is like 43-1, and the regular theaters are nowhere close to that.
Yeah. Every shot is like an extreme. Any shot with a person in it becomes an extreme close up.
Yes. And fucking I saw a TikTok like even making fun of that. The guy's like going to like get his tickets for the movie as and he's like there's like yeah, one ticket to the Odyssey, please. And he's like in IMAX as Nolan intended. And they respond back, yes, as Nolan intended. And it's like every time he's like handing off the ticket, it's like, yeah, I'm seeing it in IMAX as Nolan intended. And it's like, yeah, because if you see it normally, it's fucking trash.
Yeah, the other IMAX is like added stuff to it, but this is just yikes. It's gonna be hard to watch.
And basically, the early reviews have basically been like, it's beautiful, but if you want the Odyssey, it's terrible. Like it's a terrible rendition of the Odyssey itself.
Not surprising.
And here's my thing with all of this, right? And I really don't give a shit the casting. I get that they did it for the Oscars. And nothing against whatever the bitch is that they cast for Helen of Troy. But listen, I don't care that Helen is black. I care that she's mid.
Yeah.
This is the thing. And people are like, well, what's going on? I was like, you don't understand.
It started a war.
Yes, yes. And the whole thing started because the guy whose brother was wife was Helen, that guy was like more or less the king of Greece, right? And he wanted to go to war with Troy and he needed an excuse. And this was the thing. Helen was so beautiful that when he went to all these different Greek tribes that he had to get to go to war, not one for a second was like, why are we going to war for this bitch? The person that they casted as Helen of Troy, if I had a brother and my brother was like, you need to go to war for me, I'd be like, listen, buddy, we're going to go down to the local tavern tonight. We're going to find you another one. It's fine. Don't you want me to go to war over her? It's not going to happen, buddy.
How well do you know this woman? I met her like one time.
Yeah, we'll find you another one. Don't worry about it. I'm the king. We'll find you one. Now, if sub out the girl that they have for like Halle Berry, I'd be like,
yeah,
yo, somebody stole Halle from you? Ah, we're going. Let's go. We're packing up the boys. We're going to war for this one. Beyonce, we're going to war for it. This bitch, and I hate it too because like the casting of it, and everybody has mixed feelings on her. I think she's pretty attractive, and it all depends on like the outfit and the hair for like most people. But if they had swapped the girl that's playing Helen with Zendaya in roles, so make Zendaya Helen and make her I think Archimedes is who like Zendaya's playing. If they had swapped that, zero issue.
It would make a lot more sense.
I'd be like, she's Archimedes, I don't care. Some random Greek god, don't give a shit. Zendaya as Helen of Troy, weird casting, but I'm like, all right, I get it. But like the one that they got in now, I'm like, my disbelief is suspended so badly that like I don't even want to see it. I want to see more reviews on it, but I'm like, I like Matt Damon as Odysseus. I think that's a good role because Odysseus was supposed to be like, he was supposed to be a clever warrior, and I feel like Matt Damon like
works.
Yeah, that makes sense. What's his face?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland as his son. Weird choice. Rob Patterson as his son's prime rival for the throne, going after his mom. Also weird choice, but you know, whatever. I can kind of like get it. But Helen of Troy, I'm like, the whole thing starts because they're going to war for this bitch, and I wouldn't even get in a street fight for her, let alone a war. Like I'm like, if you want people to see the movie, like make it believable, and that's the thing too. Like, listen, I'm sure. Well, there might, I don't know, not yet, but there might be women listening to this one day. I'm sure even women know, like, yeah, I'd fight for this girl or I wouldn't fight for this girl. Like, beauty is subjective to a point, but like, you know it when you see it, and everybody would like if you see like Halle Berry, you're not gonna be like, you're gonna be like, God damn! Like even like look up Halle Berry now. Like even I think like
No, she's still
if you
great.
look up her versus the actress that plays Helena Troy, you'd be like, I'm going to war
Still Halle, yeah.
for older Halle Berry before I go to war for this bitch. And it's just I don't know, it's bad. And apparently they like rewrote the story so bad that the reason why the girl playing Helen of Troy is like, well, you know, the Homer needs to be more of a feminist and give more time to women is because they apparently rewrote the Odyssey so bad that all the female like parts are like written out of it, which is fucking hilarious because I watched a breakdown recently of the Odyssey and I didn't know this. I got educated on this and I thought it was pretty funny. So like we attribute the Odyssey to Homer because like that's the amalgamous person that we gave the credit to in history. When the Odyssey was written, it was oral tradition. Nothing was written down. So these stories were passed down and they more or less agree upon that it was probably multiple poets that wrote the Odyssey. It wasn't just like one person, but multiple people. But I did not realize this. There's been a 150-year debate as to whether the writer of the Odyssey was a man or a woman. And it's because the Odyssey gives so much credence and story time to the day-to-day minutia of like things like running the household that they're like, there's no fucking way a man wrote this. This was a woman. Because like one of the main stories is how Odysseus's wife buys time for him to come back by she's sewing the what's wrong?
And we're back again.
Yeah, we time traveled again. But yeah, so like the minutia, the day to day with Odysseus's wife, where she's like sewing the funeral veil by day, and then at night she's unweaving it to like buy time for him to come back. Like that day to day and like the politics between women that happen like in the Odyssey, historians have been arguing, unbeknownst to me, for fucking decades if it was really a man or a woman who wrote it.
Huh.
And so the fact that like the girl playing Helen of Troy is like, he should have been more of a feminist, and like the early reviewers saying like it's kind of weird, like there's like it doesn't
they took out of it.
Yeah, they took out like some of the defining stories which were focused around women. I was like, that's fucking hilarious. So they did this diversity casting and then they rewrote it to make it less fucking feminist. Which I'm like what the fuck? What were you thinking? But yeah, this shit has been such a bad thing and such a shit show. I thought it was still in production.
I thought it was out already.
Because like the whole casting release, like the whole like Elliot Page like casting where everybody's like, oh my God, and this bitch is like Helen of Troy. That was announced like 3 months ago. I thought they were starting the filming. I didn't realize it had already been
done.
in like post-production and was like ready to go. But I'm laughing because I don't know if you've seen the memes with like Elliot Page like being part of like the Odyssey, but they've been doing like little videos of like this little mini soldier getting like wrecked by like the enemy soldiers and whatnot, right? So like they've got like memes of her like getting like TikTok memes of her like getting like fucked up.
Really?
Well, him, her, whatever. Sorry, I'm bad with it because Elliot and Ellen are so close. I fucked that up. I'm not trying to misgender people, but I'm a little drunk. But anyway, so the memes are like it's a little soldier because Elliot Page
Small person
can be a man, but it's so short now, and it's really funny the bodyguard thing. Like, I think our height difference is bad. That one is like, but they've been like memeing like, oh no, here comes like the little like midget soldier to attack, and they just throw a spear and it goes down in one hit. Then it leaked the clips of Elliot Page's like role in the movie, and they're like hiding like on a boulder thing and get shot full of arrows and die. And it's like, the internet had it right. It's like they just like fortune told it, but everybody was upset at first because the rumor was Elliot Page was going to be Achilles, Not Achilles, just some like random Greek soldier, but they're seen apparently in the movie, they just get shot full of arrows and die.
Okay.
And it's like, well, that's lackluster for like no reason.
Whatever.
And I'm like, and again, you do you, boo. But I always hark back to Joe Rogan stand up, and it's like, don't get offended that like that that like women can't do what men can do. Not every man can do what every man can do.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, could I be like some jacked like Spartan Greek soldier? Probably not. Like, I don't have the physique for that. That would be terrible. Like, could I do some of these? Probably not. Like that there's levels to this shit.
Yeah. We're not soldiers now.
Yeah, I'm not Chris Hemsworth, you know?
Uh-huh.
Not Brad Pitt. People are like, why are you getting mad? I'm like, did you see Troy?
Uh-huh.
This is why I'm getting mad.
Much better movie.
Yeah. And we missed out on pretty sure that was Sean Bean. We missed out on Sean Bean Odysseus. I'm pretty sure in Troy, look it up. I'm pretty sure that was Sean Bean. Yeah,
Sean Bean, yeah.
Yeah, Sean Bean was Odysseus in Troy, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Sean Bean is Odysseus. Correct.
Yeah. And I'm mad we didn't get that movie.
That would have been amazing.
Because Sean Bean Odysseus would have been amazing.
Uh-huh.
But we just got him playing a small like part in Troy, and they're like, "Hey, nod to like the whole story that happens after this that you're never gonna get." Because I think that was the plan, right?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be Troy, and then they were supposed to make the Odyssey, but like they never
are they
made
related?
It. Huh?
Troy was.
Yeah, Troy's the kickoff to the Odyssey. The Odyssey is Odysseus' journey back after the Trojan War.
The people making the movies were connected.
No, not now. I'm saying that I thought Troy was supposed to be the kickoff to like they were going to do Troy and then make the Odyssey,
okay.
and then they never made the Odyssey.
Gotcha.
Because Troy, as good as it was, I think Troy was like kind of like lackluster when it came out, right?
Yeah, it didn't do great.
I don't think it did well, but like it's great after the fact. I really like that movie actually, but I think that like as with everything, they were trying to do a spinoff of like Troy and then the Odyssey.
Oh, Troy.
Oh no, that's
500
pretty
million.
good.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. Production budget of 175 million, brought in 500 million. Okay, did pretty well. Never mind then. Troy,
We were
not
young.
Odyssey.
Yeah, we were young. You know, we don't know how Troy did, but I love the shit out of that movie. That movie was good, but better than the shitty movie with Henry Cavill. What is that? The Immortals or whatever the fuck.
So what?
You never saw the Henry Cavill like Greek movie?
No.
I think it was the Immortals. Yeah.
Yeah, Immortals.
Yeah.
No, I never saw that.
That movie was weird. It was also like trying to tee off something, and it was like okay, but it was like really weird. Who's the other guy? Who's the werewolf guy from the Twilight movies?
Oh, if you hadn't asked me, I could have told you. Twilight werewolf. Taylor Lautner.
Yeah, it had that guy playing Poseidon.
Oh shit! Interesting.
Yeah, it was weird. The Immortals thing was like very weird. It was supposed to be like another like Greek mythology thing, and like because of the one guy that released the Titans, and I don't know, it was weird. There's a lot going on. The visuals were cool, but it was like in that era, like right after like 300, where like everything was like that stop like motion thing that like South Park made fun of with Lesbos. Remember, like he dropped the coffee pot and he's like making the coffee and like they do like they grab the coffee and then speed it up and then slow it down. Like that's how the Immortals was too. Like the fight scene was
gotcha.
like stab somebody, then speed up real quick, then stab somebody else, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, it looks cool and flowy, but like it's really like disorienting. Especially because they would fight like that while somebody's moving normally in the foreground, and you're like, what's going on right now?
I remember the trailers.
Yeah.
Now that you talk about that. Fun fact about Taylor Lautner, his wife is also named Taylor, and it's spelled the same way.
Tay-Tay. That's the true Tay-Tay. Do you know if somebody's selling the trash from the Taylor Swift wedding in epoxy and people are like buying it for like $100 a piece? And it's like they're selling it for larger pieces. Yeah, but if you think that's bad, FIFA does the same thing with the fields from the World Cup games, and they sell the grass set in epoxy for like fucking like thousands of dollars, so you can own a piece of the World Cup. And I'm like, people are stupid.
That's still stupid. It's significantly less stupid than fucking Taylor's trash.
It's about the same level of stupid. If I had a soccer, if anything, I would feel better about a piece of a soccer ball from the World Cup than I would the grass. Yeah, but like if you cut the soccer ball up into pieces from the different games and sold that to me would be way more valuable than a piece of grass that may or may not have come off that field. How do I know?
True.
I got grass in a pocket.
How do you know the piece of the ball came off of that field?
Because the World Cup soccer balls are unique.
Like yeah, but how do you know it was that one?
You probably don't. They can mass produce those things, but at least like it would be like a unique like design on that piece of the soccer ball.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck? What are we doing here?
Yeah, still stupid.
It just goes to show that people buy anything dumb, and you could just like scheme and scam off of anything. But anyway, we will see how the Odyssey does. I'm a little bit buzzed.
I'm stoned.
Yeah. You're a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll. And
how dare you?
You want to let me wrap it up so you can go eat your pizza, or do you want to like...
I want to object to you calling me country.
I mean, objectively, I'd say you're more country.
Ew.
What? Got a little native in you.
I mean, technically.
Yeah, more country than I am.
Sorry, wrap it up.
And ancestral-wise, you're more country than I am.
I don't like you.
Yeah, because it's accurate. But anyway, wrapping it up, as always, if you made it this far, congratulations. The prize is smashing that like button, hitting that notification bell.
Do it.
Hitting that subscribe if you haven't. If you made it all this way and you haven't hit subscribe, I seriously, like, write in the comments, tell us why, because I'm kind of offended if you made it this far without hitting the subscribe button.
Episode 53, and you haven't subscribed? You're just typing in the search every fucking time?
More than that, if you make it through an hour of our bullshit and you haven't hit subscribe, like, what's going on? Like, you gotta like us, and even if you don't like us, we gotta be such a good ASMR for your sleep that you should subscribe to us anyway. But if you made it this far, hit that. Hit the notification bell. Share the show with everyone you know. Find us on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, the TikTokies, X, most podcast stations now, because we're on that, what is it, the RSS feed?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're RSS everywhere, baby. But, yeah. Again, if you made it to the end, congratulations to you. You made it through another week of our shenanigans.
Deuces.
See ya.